What's going on, guys? Just me, a bloke who talks and plays a video game. How awesome. So in this video, it is all about stealth wealth. And I'm going to talk about this because, look, I'm sick of seeing these AI generated videos. I'm honest, I get so sick of these AI generated videos. It's not funny. I saw so many videos just talking about stealth wealth. If you get rich, tell no one. There's just these AI voices and all these content farms on YouTube these days. Mate, I just want to play a good video game, a classic video game, and just talk. And to have people just tune in. Maybe I'll make it a podcast on Spotify. So if you're not, I guess, actively watching on YouTube, you can just listen in the car or whatever, and I guess all this Minecraft footage is irrelevant. But yeah, that's the direction I've decided to take this channel. I'm just gonna develop my world, and as I develop my world, I guess you can see in the background this world in Minecraft go from this little homestead to just a huge world. I'm gonna beat the game. This is my forever world, and it's just gonna be me talking, a bit like a podcast and all of that nice stuff. So, yeah, we're talking about stealth wealth today without going on tangents, because I go on a lot of tangents, and that's something that I'm trying to cut down on. So, talking on YouTube and trying to cut down on it will be good, but that's a tangent in itself. Okay, so in my opinion, a lot of people's decisions are driven by people who don't even give a shit about them. I'm swearing, it's not really swearing, man, but I feel like the YouTube algorithm will punish me. Yeah, people do not care about you, man. Honestly, I mean, it's the hard truth, especially if you're a man. I'm not trying to say that, being a man's harder, because they both have their challenges, right? But yeah, the truth is, unless you have skills, you don't really have an offering. And that's not a good or a bad thing. It's just how it is. I'm not criticizing the way it is. I'm just saying, and I guess it's the same for women as well. They get more value if they have skills. But yeah, generally as a man, you feel like, okay, if I don't have skills, well, I'm not worth it, right? Going off on a tangent. I said I wouldn't do that, but yeah. So people don't really give a shit about you, bro. So to feel like people do give a shit about you, you want to spend money. I'm sorry, I'm targeting this really at a male audience right now. I guess that's because I am, but I'm going to talk about that. As a man, I feel like the more wealth I can show off, the more value I have. That's just something that's sort of subconsciously built into me. If I drive a Lamborghini to work, people are suddenly going to start respecting me. This is a myth. This is an absolute myth. And I know it sounds it sounds so true. If you've got money, people respect you. They're like, oh, you've done something right. You've done something correct. But in actual fact, people are just envious. When was the last time you saw someone who makes more money than you? And what do you think of them? If you were humble, if you're the type of person that's watching this video, you probably thought, well, I'm proud of them or something like that. Or they inspired me. And yeah, this is a healthy way to view people who have more than you, is to say, well, look, they've inspired me to become a better person. And I think, yeah, that's exactly how you should react to people who have stuff that's better than you. But for the average Joe, and I'm sure there's a lot of good people out in the world, but they're pretty rare to come across just in day-to-day life. Well, people have good intentions, but there's a lot of people who are just shallow or just, so to speak, NPCs, right? The average person will see if you drive a faster car than them, they will just see that guy's a dickhead. They'll just look at excuses to bring you down to say oh, that guy's got a Mercedes, what a fucking wanker. sorry to be blunt, but that's like what the average person thinks when they see a dude pull up in a Mercedes. Like, well, not even a Mercedes, like Porsche, Ferrari, Lambo. Like, honestly, people would just think, yeah, that guy's a dickhead. Because they want to justify their own life by saying, well, they're better than you because they're not materially driven, right? Well, yeah, that's the truth. People do not actually respect you more. They just feel more insecure around you. And people are, if someone does something good for you, a lot of wealthy people will tell you that, like, I do not trust the people in my life because do they have other motives? And so, holy shit, they've made a lot of villages. Sorry if you were just listening on the podcast, I'm going to talk about this. Yeah, there's a lot of villages in my Minecraft village right now. But yeah, the freedom of not showing off your wealth. If you've got money, is you can, and like people literally don't know how much money you've got. If you're just working next to them and going, yeah, I'm still paying off my mortgage. And don't lie, like, or just say, maybe don't say you just paid off the mortgage. But if you pull up to work in a used Toyota Corolla from like 2014, 2016, and you're basically saying like, oh, I had a nice day, or you're not talking about material possessions, you're just saying, oh yeah, I went to the park and, I don't know, I went for a nice walk, or something. You don't flex, which is something I'm guilty of for sure, is like having this sort of brag mentality, or yeah, the more I can brag, it's like a gotcha moment. But I feel like, if you got millions of dollars, that insecurity of, oh, someone's got more wealth than me, is like, it literally eats away at people that have money. And also, people's lifestyle inflates. That's a big problem, isn't it? Like, mate, I don't know how to say it, like, if I made a higher salary suddenly, if I suddenly started making more money, then suddenly I enter this circle of other people with a high salary, and this is office workers particularly. You sort of become friends with the other people in the office, and that becomes the people you surround yourself with. Typically, office workers are quite materialistic people. I'm going to be honest, like, they drive finance cars, a lot of them, like, let's be honest. And they use their salary amount as how successful they are. So they don't see the big picture that having a high salary is awesome, but if you allocate it incorrectly, then you still don't make much progress financially. And I feel like someone who has a good good financial literacy is better than someone who just has a high salary. So you typically will see these people who are like a bit insecure, and I guess it's built into everyone. Yeah, we want to show off. Yeah, we want this. Yeah, we want that. You typically see them driving this finance Mercedes-Benz and all of that sort of stuff. And they've got less money, liquid money in their bank account than the guy earning 80K a year. The guy earning 200K a year will have less liquid money in his bank account because the guy earning 80K, well, not the typical guy, but like a financially literate guy, is just thinking like, how can I use my money to create a secure environment or a secure life for myself? And that is a good way to look at money. Like, people see money as like, oh yeah, now I've got fun money. As someone who has a lot of just money sitting around, and I'm so like, I'm not going to flex it with a nice car or anything, and I'm done buying designer clothes. Like, I bought a bit of Louis Vuitton, but like, to be honest, now I just want to buy like whatever's nice, like just something neat. It doesn't have to be big brand name. I've got a couple of Louis Vuitton and I'll still wear them because I own them, but I'm not going to keep expanding my designer clothes collection because, look, I'm done with that. Like, seriously, man, it's such a waste. And it doesn't matter. Like, the only people who respect that are other poor people. Like, if you actually, not poor people, that is so stupid for me to say poor people, but like, honestly, if you go into a circle of people who have money, what do you think they respect? If you think about like people with $100 million of net worth, and they've got businesses that are super successful, or they did sweat equity or anything like that. They're hard workers, they're hustlers, and other quiet wealth people who actually have it all, which is quite a lot of wealthy people, to be honest. People who've got it figured out how to enjoy their money. Honestly, if they see Louis Vuitton on everything and Saint Laurent and what else, like Gucci, that's what you're wearing, like the way they're gonna view you is, oh, this guy's trapped in the system. He's still like blinded by it. He's not figured it out yet. Do you really want people to see you as the kind of guy who's just blinded by these brand name pursuits? And that's another thing. And look, I won't say the word NPC. Well, I will. I used to be reluctant to use the word NPC to describe people because it's such a cringe sort of video game term. Like NPC. It was like a Gen Alpha slang. Like, oh, bro, you're an NPC. But the more I look into it and the more I use it, the more addicted I get to using that word NPC, because that is a majority of people. Like, it's crazy how much groupthink people have and they don't think for themselves. And I'm not trying to say I'm better than other people, because look, I'm not. I've got problems. There are people who've got more things figured out in some areas than me. Look, I'm very reluctant, very arrogant, and I feel like, yeah, I definitely need to work on that. And there's people who've got that, who are better off at that. But I guess everyone's sort of got that ego in their head. Like, everyone's got it, but they sort of suppress it. A lot of people don't. Some people don't. Good people don't. But for me, it's like a battle. Like, don't let the ego win. Don't let the ego speak today. But what I'm trying to say is, fuck, what am I even saying, man? This channel will get better when I get used to this, but yeah. If you want to look like an NPC, just look like the average Joe to these millionaires, then yeah, sure, rock up in Louis Vuitton, rock up in Gucci, and be like, yeah, I'm rich too. The real rich people will laugh at you and they're just wearing their white polos, or they just went to like, I don't know, they went to Burnside Village and they went to Country Road, they bought a polo for $100, which is not, look, it's not cheap by like standards of, what's it called? It's not cheap by like, you look at the average minimum wage earner, they will go, oh, $100 for a polo is crazy. Oh, I don't wear polos. I'll just wear like a cheap shirt from Kmart. A lot of people who won't. But it's like they're not paying for the brand name. They're paying $100 and all of that goes into quality. Like, yeah, Country Road or something like that. That's like mid-range. But like what these people are paying for in actual fact is they're paying for quality. They just look at like what gives them best value. Like, yeah, I'll buy, I don't know, Tommy Hilfiger, gives me good value for my money, good quality. It's not like it's going to wear down. It doesn't look very, it doesn't look daggy and bogan or whatever. It's just something neat. And, you know, Tommy Hilfiger, there's nothing wrong with it. Whereas if you look at the person who's like sort of blinded in society, they'll be like, damn, Louis Vuitton, I'm going to spend $1,000 on new LV. And everyone's going to like me for that. Whereas the rich person doesn't care about that, because they're like, look, if someone, when I say rich person, there's a lot of people that's still rich and they buy designer and they're like still in that mindset and they spend a lot of money and they're bringing in a lot of money. But I would say the more well-rounded is, honestly, the more well-rounded mentality is not to think, oh, I got to show off and make sure everyone knows I got money so they respect me, or just like make people jealous. I think a healthy mindset to have is like, look, if people don't like me, I can't genuinely make them like me just because of this thing that I own. Like, if I show up in a Lamborghini and someone was going to hate me if I showed up in a Corolla, or just like dislike me or go, oh, this guy sucks. But now because I showed up in a Lambo instead of a Corolla or a Mazda 3, this person's, no, that's not going to be genuine. No one's going to genuinely go, oh, this guy's cool, this guy's solid, oh, I'm going to do a business deal with this guy because he showed up in a Lambo. Like, nah, it's purely about this image for yourself. It's not genuine. Like, I believe, honestly, if you want to be this person who's respected, you've got to work on how you treat other people. It's got nothing to do with your personal possessions. That is something that I've been pondering. It's like, if people respect you and like you, like genuinely, it's got nothing to do with your personal possessions or impressing them. It's actually to do with your skills, your ability to solve problems in that person's life, anyone, and your ability to have empathy for that person. Like, if you have empathy and you're like, damn, this guy's on the same page as me. Like, if I was to go up to someone and they feel like I'm thinking exactly what they're thinking and I can help them reach their goals and I understand the why for that, like, I go, yeah, I know exactly why you're after, I know exactly why you want to achieve this. Let me help you achieve that. That is infinitely more valuable than showing up in a Lamborghini, talking about myself and going, oh, I can do this, I can do that. And someone says they want something, a certain result, and I'm like, oh yeah, we can do this for, I don't know, $300, and oh, this is cheap, or something. Like, it's a lot better to just show up and like listen to someone, like listen to a potential customer or client or whatever, and go, yeah, I'm on the same page here. I wanna achieve this for you. I remember when I was at this level, and I don't know, I feel like, for example, if someone says, I'm trying to think of one. If someone says to me like, oh, I want to get better, I'm obese and I want to get better, I want to get fit. Like, the average person, like, I'm not a personal trainer and I'm not going to give people advice. Like, I'm qualified, and I used to, but now I wouldn't do what I'm not qualified for. But honestly, if someone said to me like, oh, I want to get fit, I don't run very fast, the average salesperson would go, oh yeah, I can help you achieve this. It's like $59. But for me, and I don't do this professionally, right? But if I was in that situation, I would just say to them, like, yeah, that changed my life, or that would change your life. And listen to that person. Like, I don't even think saying that changed my life, but I'd say that would change your life. I know it did for me. And I really want you to get there. So, well, I want to hit $100,000 in sales, and I'm thinking like, yeah, your business is awesome, or something like that. Like, showing up in a Lambo is just false. And a real friend would be understanding of you, whether you have a Lambo or you're having the worst day in your life. If you lost your house in a fire and you lost all your money and the bank took all your debt, and your mate's just there saying like, oh man, you can rebuild this. I know you can rebuild this. Like, that is genuine. If you have money and you don't know the people, for all you know, these people could be saying like behind your back, oh, I can't wait till this guy dies so I can take his inheritance, or something like that. But, you know, I think stealth wealth is the way. And plus, have you ever realized how much shit that you don't actually need? Like, all of these, I feel like having money never made my life easier. Well, it made my life easier. Sorry, having life never made my life more fun. Having money never made my life more fun. That's the truth. It made it easier because if I need something or want something, like if I'm like, oh, I need to get the car washed, good, and just tap the card at the car wash and say, well, I'm too lazy today. Well, car's washed. Or I need to go, I don't know, I don't even know. I don't need anything really. But yeah, like in many situations, it's pretty simple. Like, you don't need shit. I was thinking about it. Like, people get blinded by all these possessions and things they could have. Like, oh, I could finance a Tesla, could finance a BMW, could finance I don't know, any good car. And look, I've been in this mentality. I mean, like, oh, what if I got this? Then everyone would think highly of me. And it's like, I could shock everyone, and that's awesome. And it's all consuming, that desire to be that person who's got the fancy car, and then everyone's like, wow, everyone cheers the end. But like, at the end of the day, and that's the instant gratification way of getting that sort of respect from people. Instant gratification is like the fantasy of, yeah, one day I'll have the nice car, and then I'll walk into the room and then everyone will respect me instantly. You know what the truth is? Respect is hard to get and easy to lose. That's the truth. Like, with anything, you could be trusted by someone for years. You could serve someone for years as a business, and not even in business. You could just be someone's mate for years. This is a hard lesson I learned through the hard way, the trials and tribulations in my own life, right? You could be someone's mate for years. It's even true for relationships. You could date a girl for years, right? It only takes one bad occasion, one event to crash that whole reputation to the ground. Like, that's with business, with relationships, with even jobs and stuff like that. Like, you can be perfect, but then you have one bad day, one bad event, too bad, it's all over. It doesn't matter what your possessions are. That's not how it works. How it works is you are consistent, you're predictable, and you get results. Whether that's like someone wanting to be listened to, or that's like someone wanting to make record profits. You do that over years, you get respect, and you have to continue to do that. And if you can't do that, like, that is impossible to get back. You are done. Like, no possession can just buy that. No possession can buy years of consistency, of hard work, of effort. Nothing. You cannot buy it by showing off with whatever your possessions are, like, and then people will just be shallow. Like, that's the truth. Being bored and rich. Let me talk about that, because we're talking about quiet money. We're talking about don't tell anyone, right? I have been bored and rich, but there's nothing I want to buy. Like, nothing I purchase will make my life any better. Anyway,